were you going to tell me?
And I forgot.
So, well, this ought to be good.
Yeah, it is. Thinking of disclaimers before we get started. Because
we're doing this on wax. Okay, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Disclaimers before we start because
just so that people have a general understanding of the various topics that we break down and things like that, and not thinking that it's necessarily a personal or they are being attacked in any kind of way. Because we want to be mindful of our audience, our listeners, you know?
They are the ones that matter. And I do not have any intentions on losing listeners. I want to build listeners. I want to build a fan base. So I definitely agree. So what were you thinking of saying? Does ain't for the weak of heart? If you're scared of the heat, get out of the kitchen. Like, is that our disclaimer?
It sounds better when you say it. For some reason, when I say things like that, it just, I guess it comes out. So I've been told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate is a little rough around the edges. If you don't know him personally and know his values and things of that nature, his opinions can often be viewed as a bit harsh. A bit harsh, I think is the best way to put it. But it makes for a great podcast. So listen, y'all, stay tuned. Me and him was kind of going back and forth in the pregame outside. I can't wait till this shit happens on the mic.
Now, just to get this on wax, do you think that my intention is to be harsh?
No.
Okay.
But you're like, for those who will get this reference, you're like the Shaquille O'Neal spin move. I'm going to throw the elbow, but I'm not going to do it maliciously. I'm going to throw it with the intention of it needs to be done so that I can dunk on you. just trying to score. It is. It is. And Reggie Miller was like, bullshit. That elbow was the reason I didn't get a championship.
I'm just trying to score 40 on you. That's it.
Listen.
I'm just trying to get my game average. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you
what. Try to have the best game I can have.
We're going to start the show. I'm gonna, you said no, just... Yeah, okay, let's hit the music.
Just trying to get my poster.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, indeed.
I can breathe a little bit, feel a little comfortable.
That's the one.
Oh, gosh. Right before we hit the record button, my son came downstairs with some health concerns. Mm-hmm. And, you know, teenage boys that have health concerns are always interesting. Mm-hmm. But he recently started playing football. He about 4 or 5, 2 and 1. So they 5 games into his first football season ever.
Okay.
And his body hurt. Crazy how that happened, right?
I mean, you competing, son.
It was like, Dad, I'm sore. I'm like, yeah, well.
Yeah.
And as we told him, Epsom salt. But it's crazy, man. Like, I remember when he was born. So, like, you know, to watch him going through the trials and tribulations that he's going through now, it's always, like way astonishing. Like, it kind of stops me in my tracks on a regular basis. Like, I'll be walking through the house, and he'll just be doing some regular shit, but I'll look over like, man, this dude is really like this dude right now. Like, he's this big.
Right.
He has these thought processes. Like,
right. And you watched it from day one.
Day one.
Yeah.
I remember the day. You remember when your kids was born?
Both of them.
We was in the room, that whole situation.
Indeed.
Did you cut the umbilical?
Yes.
Man, listen. I did too. You know what? It's okay. So listen, I am 22 years old. Okay, my wife of 6 months calls me as I get off work, or I call her when I get off work because I'm on my way home.
Okay.
At the time, she's 9.5 months pregnant.
Okay.
And I say, "Hey, babe, how you doing?" She says, "I'm in labor." And I say, "Oh shit!" Now, this is my wife's second child.
Okay.
It's my first.
Got you.
And I'm 22. I'm piss and vinegar. I'm like, I done had the bag packed for weeks.
Right.
The whole 9. Like, I'm ready to go. Let's get this in, right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, let's get there. So I get home. And when I get home, I grab the bag. I set it over by because it was by the door, but it was in the living room. So I grab it, put it by the door, checking on her, make sure she good. And she like, you need to calm down. I'm like, fuck you mean I need to calm down? You in labor. You about to give birth to my son. We not calming down ain't an option for me. She was like, listen, when I go to the hospital, I'm not leaving the hospital pregnant. And she had been telling me this for maybe a month.
Okay.
Because she already knew. She was filling out the whole thing. She was like, listen, when I go to the hospital, I'm not coming back pregnant.
Okay.
Period. So she says she in labor. I hit the action button. She like, I'm about to take a shower. I'm like, you can't take a shower. We got to go to the hospital. She was like, fam, I'm about to get in the tub. And Bugs Bunny calm. Like, Elmer Fudd just shooting and he just standing there and put his thumb in the damn shotgun.
Right.
Like, that's the kind of calm she is. It's fucking me up. So I'm like, all right. She gets in the shower. On my way home, I called mom, pops, sister, everybody. My mother-in-law, I called everybody. Listen, DEFCON 3. Hit the button, lift the switch, put in the code, hit the button, let's go. Let's get this going. Mm-hmm. So she gets in the shower, she get out, she sit on the bed, she air dries, she goes and, all that type of cool stuff. And I'm like, you really just gonna chill. My mama show up. My mama like, yo, I just got off work, so I need some clothes because I ain't going all the way home. She was like, all right, because he didn't stay close at the time. So I get Mom Dukes a pair of Hooper shorts and a t-shirt, and she was like, all right, straight. And then we was like, all right, we ready to leave? And it was like, yeah, we can leave. I go get the car, pull the car around front. So, because it was to the garage was a bit of a walk. So I'm thinking we're going to keep this minimum. So I'm going to pull the car around to this whole thing. I pull the car around my mother and my mother, my wife, and my daughter get in the car.
Okay.
And they sit down and she says, I'm hungry. Like, you can't eat. We got to go to the hospital. Right. She was like, I need to get something to eat. And I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Right now.
Like, I'm hungry. I want to go get something to eat. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I tell you what, Ma, you drive. Mm-hmm. That way, I could be in my own shit in the back. I ain't got to worry about none of this. So I sit in the back seat and I'm fidgeting. I'm panicking. The whole nine. These contractions are happening. As the contractions happen, my mother is talking her through all the contractions.
Right.
Breathe, relax, make sure everything is cool. Do you have any other pains? Do you have anything else? How's your vision? Mom Dukes is Mom Duking it up through this entire situation. Bro, we went to Subway, got sandwiches. We stopped at UDF because Subway didn't have the drinks that my wife wanted. My mama went to the library to drop books off, and then we go to the hospital. At this point, I am a mess in the backseat, okay? An absolute mess.
Yeah.
We get to the hospital, and they kick everybody out the room, except for me and Keitha, my wife. And she, the doctor does what the doctor does down there, and he comes out. He was like, listen, you 5.5 centimeters. You staying. And she looks at me and was like, didn't say nothing, just gave me the look like, told you what this was.
I know what this is.
Because if she'd have showed up less than 5.5, they'll keep you for like an hour at the most.
Right.
Mind you, we've been in the car for 2.5 hours running errands. She knew.
Right.
We got to the hospital about 5:30. That boy was born at 11:11 that day. That day. And the whole experience was, don't get me wrong, it was great, but it was a whole bunch of stuff that people who had been through this experience did not prepare me for.
Right.
There's a lot of things, and I try not to get too graphic, especially while we're on wax, but there's, so my son is born. My wife did it all natural for a long time, and then she got the epidural kind of late in the whole process.
Okay.
And then simply because with her dealing with the pain, her blood pressure had rose, and they didn't want her to, the risk of a stroke or whatnot. So they give you the epidural so that you can deal with the pain. So, all right, that was cool. They did all of that, and then they said, so during the process, again, and it was a Monday. The reason I know it was a Monday was because he was born at 11/11.
Okay.
But he was born in the beginning of September, and it was the first Monday night football game. We're sitting in this hospital room doing nothing.
Right.
There's a TV right here, and I'm like, well, my fantasy, my quarterback was playing at 9 o'clock at the time, so I'm like, y'all mind if I turn the TV on? They was like, no, it's cool. So I turned the game on and sat over there and watched TV. And they was like, you in here watching football while your wife is in labor? I'm like, she ain't doing nothing.
Right.
She's sitting right there. She good. my mother-in-law, my sister, my mom, they all had some, some motherly, sisterly comments as far as the whole thing goes, which is fine. But yeah, he was born at 11/11, man, and they was not playing.
Hey, you know who this show is for?
Who?
It's for you. If you remember when your child was born.
Email the show.
Hey, if you remember the day you were born.
Email the show.
This show is for you.
What my man is getting at is this is Build It While You Fly It. Please like, subscribe, and share the video.
Indeed.
Leave as many comments as you possibly want. We want to hear from you. Email the show with any sort of questions or concerns where you might be interested in our opinion about.
Yes, indeed.
We would love to sit here and give them to you. That questions episode is going to be a whole lot of fun.
For sure.
Whole lot of fun.
This is where we enter the disclaimer. Hey, we are flawed individuals. Okay?
No, listen.
Our opinion is just our opinion. It's not
It is.
necessarily fact. It's not necessarily perfect in any way. Okay?
It ain't.
We are simply speaking from the lessons that we've learned from our own errors
Very true.
and victories.
And losses.
Man, you see, I can speak with a little finesse. You try to make it sound like I just speak harshly.
Oh, listen, we early in the process, y'all. We early in the process. Something's gonna happen in the news, or we're gonna have a conversation where shit gonna get real.
I do speak
And y'all
passionately
gonna find
from time
out.
to time.
See, what the people don't know is the behind the scenes shit. That's the part that they don't know. See, we recently acquired the skills and the resources of our main man Dom, or as we call him, DJ, who arguably was the greatest addition to Build It While You Fly It, bar none.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Who everybody says look like John B.
yes.
Go figure.
Oh, really?
Do you know who John B is?
I looked him up.
So?
You was bumping him in the car?
No,
Oh,
I didn't listen to
jeez.
him, but
This guy.
Ladies,
maybe a little bit.
ladies,
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
ladies,
Yeah.
he look like John B. He look just like John B. For real.
Got John B on the squad.
Yes. That's our main man DJ on the ones and twos.
Dom John.
And let me ask you a question, man. Oh, before we get back off of it, fellas, to everybody listening to this who ain't never had a kid before, there's two things I want you to remember. One, when you see your child for the first time, your baby not gonna look like that forever. Don't worry, they're gonna develop into the cute kid that you gonna know and love. Because them first couple hours, them first couple days, for real, kids be looking rough. Babies be looking rough.
Hey,
That is real talk.
that was a good public service announcement.
Yes.
That's what that
Second,
was.
it is a woman giving birth to another life. It is beautiful. It is. In its own way, it is beautiful. The smell that is in the room, don't nobody ever talk about it. I guess it's rude to talk about it. I don't know if it's against the etiquette. I've never smelled it before. I never want to smell it again. It's not okay. Also, on the hospital bed in the delivery room, there's a tray with a bag attached to it. Now, it should be black, but it's not. It is clear. And you lose not only the baby, but what women do, another 20 pounds of stuff. Just falls out right into the bag.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
I don't remember
And
any
the
of
nurses are just rubbing on the stomach to make sure that listen, I had a much more deeper appreciation for the process when I saw it
that.
firsthand.
Man, I
But
don't remember any of that. Because I didn't go through it. I was there. But
this is what we talk about, y'all.
I realized
Where's
that,
this camera at? Look at your
I
camera.
realized
Listen, boy,
that she was doing all the work.
all of it.
I mean, every last
Kudos.
drop. So
There's
big
actually
ups.
video footage of this whole process. Well, not like the actual process, but we had a video camera in the room with us, and we recorded that shit. I got caught on camera rubbing my wife's feet during labor. I still get cool points for that shit.
Okay. Look at you.
No, she got into an argument with me once. We
Being
was watching
yourself.
that video.
Right.
Because I married petty, by all means. And she looked at the video and was like, yeah, I ain't had a foot rub since then.
Ouch.
Damn.
Burn.
Coming deep. Coming real deep. Hey, listen. So, I had a conversation with a friend of mine. And I will not name names, and I will not give details. But
we need that name. Gotta have it.
you will not get it.
Gotta have it down, John.
You will not. You will not get it.
Gotta have it.
But we were having a conversation, and it was extremely personal. And towards the end of the conversation, they thanked me for allowing. They thanked me for allowing them to tell me their truths.
Okay.
And I was like, that's interesting. Because the things that they were telling me about were some, for lack of a better term, traumatic experiences.
Okay.
I don't traditionally believe too much in, I mean, things can be definitely traumatic, but I also have a God bless the broken road that led us here today kind of mentality.
Okay.
When it comes to those tragic events or circumstances or anything that people go through as individuals. But when you say live in your truths, are you referring to traumatic events or who you are as an individual? Like, what are your truths? Are your truths where you came from, or are your truths who you are as an individual?
I'm glad you asked.
Are you?
Because this show is for you. For those of you who live in your truth. I would define, me personally, I would define, quote unquote, my truth as
These are good.
my particular curriculum, my particular assignment, or lessons that I'm supposed to learn. Because I believe the lessons are the blessings. There were a lot of lessons that had to be repeated because I refused to learn in my foolishness.
I'm pretty sure a couple of our listeners can relate to not learning lessons due to foolishness.
That's who the show's for.
Yeah.
You. Who are learning from the things that you've been through. So, I would define my truth as that, as my particular curriculum, my particular lessons that I had to learn, my particular set of lessons that were for me and only me. And sometimes they're comparative to others, and sometimes they're not. So that's how, to answer that question, that's what I would say. How about you?
I don't define as you said, the curriculum as my truth.
Okay.
I think my grade is my truth.
Your who?
My grade.
You said who?
The grade?
Grade.
Grade.
What do you mean?
Nobody defines you by the lesson plan.
Okay.
People define you by how you interpreted the lesson plan.
Okay.
Hence, testing.
Testing.
And yeah, exactly. So I feel like the traumatic events that we all go through as individuals basically makes the curriculum
Okay.
as to everything is, and you are always being tested
For sure.
via your morals, your ability to communicate, your work ethic, and all of that type of stuff. On a regular basis as an adult, those things are always questioned. And I feel like that's the test.
Okay.
And your dedication to it, and so on and so forth. So I don't feel like anybody's truths should be defined. Excuse me. I don't feel like anybody's truths, I'm gonna struggle with that through this whole conversation, should be defined by what happened to you.
Okay.
I think the person that you are will always define your truths. And honestly, a lot of people gonna probably take this wrong, but I don't even think your opinion matters.
Yeah.
How you are interpreted. Ask the 5 closest people around you, what's your best quality? And that will be your truth.
Assuming they tell the truth.
Yeah, assuming you're not being lied to. But Lord Jesus, please tell me that the 5 people around you, closest people to you, are not liars. Because liars probably shouldn't be in that circle as a whole. At least that's just my opinion.
That's a much bigger discussion. I wanted to go back to something you said as far as happening to you. I think that there's 2 ways to look at it. I'm not going to say 2 ways. I think that there's many ways to look at it. The way that what came to my mind when you said that was you can look at it as it's happening to you or it's happening for you. And you'll make decisions from whichever perspective you choose. And there's even more perspectives out there, I'm sure. But when you believe that it's happening for you, you move a certain way. When you believe it's happening to you, then you move a certain way.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is it's the easiest way to do that is to look back. And as I've said on this show on more than one occasion, and I don't know how many episodes have been released by the time y'all will hear this, is that hindsight is 20/20. It's God bless the broken road that led us here today. So you can always look back at that broken road and go, man, I should have did this, or man, I should have did that, and so on and so forth. So it's always difficult sometimes to find out when the situation is happening, that it's happening for any in particular reason. But it's amazing how when you go through those traumatic experiences, you can apply them to so many other things as you go through, for lack of a better term, the curriculum.
Right.
Because you're going to get tested on a regular basis. But because you have went through the curriculum, here's what happens is that, like I said, you're always going to get tested. But when you're going through these situations, that sort of clarity is rare. It takes a lot of experience for you to go through some sort of traumatic event. Early on, it feels like when you were 13 and this girl said no, when she checked the no box and then passed you that note back, this was traumatic. What do you mean no? I wrote the note. I passed it to her, who passed it to him, who passed it to her, who then passed it to you. You were supposed to check yes. When you really wanted something for Christmas and you didn't get it, that was a traumatic event. Right. When you really wanted something for your birthday, you didn't get it, that was a traumatic event. When you go to that job interview and they say, yeah, we'll give you a call. All of these were traumatic events. And then you also couple that with more serious traumatic events, the loss of loved ones and things of that nature.
Right.
All of that stuff is preparing you.
Hey, and if you've ever been told no, this show is for you.
Period. But all of that stuff basically prepares you for later on in life and how to deal with future situations.
Assuming we learn from it. You know what I mean? I think that we can. The reason I said lessons is because I think that it's not like certain school systems where when you reach a certain age, we just pass you along. We'll just move you on to the next grade.
Oh, God.
Right.
Not to derail the podcast, but when I tell you, I was born in 1985, and I went to elementary school and junior high school under the Clinton administration, where this No Child Left Behind law was back. I knew plenty of stupid people who ain't had no business going to the next grade that went. That No Child Left Behind is just something. Listen, kids need to learn failure people need to learn failure at the earliest possibility. Yeah. As soon as you think them kids is old enough to comprehend it, they need to learn how to fail.
Right. As part of a greater process.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not, oh man, I failed, so I'm never gonna try again.
Kids get attitudes now when people be like, you can't do that. Yeah. He's sad.
Yeah.
You know why he's sad? Because he lost.
Or because he didn't get a participation award.
Yeah, fuck the participation award. Fuck that.
That's how you feel?
Man, listen, fuck that. Want a participation award? Bruh. Sprinkles are for winners. If you want to win, try hard. Practice more. Right. Study.
Right.
Figure this out.
Right.
No, lose. Sure. And lose well.
For sure.
Lose with your chin up and your chest out.
Man. Hey. And this is really for those of you who value winning,
Man,
right?
listen.
Because not everybody values winning.
Listen.
This was what I was gonna tell you today. Like we need to cover this one on one show about some people think that winning is boring. It's uncomfortable when winning that it's not a big deal to get the win, and if they are in a winning situation, they'll find a way to sabotage because winning is boring to them.
Yeah, it is. But not to derail the
Yeah,
podcast. I don't want to. I
exactly.
don't want to derail.
So look, we're going to that.
And, yeah,
one day.
we'll
Yeah.
come back to that at a whole nother show. But truths. And,
Truths, but that's their truth, right?
ugh. Jesus.
And if that's your truth, I don't know what to tell you. I was gonna say the show's for you. I
Well,
don't want to lie to you.
Even if still, listen, y'all. At the end of the day, first of all, we want to hear from you. If you feel like your life experiences are your truth, and that's what matters to
Right.
you, I want to hear that.
Right.
Give me your opinion as to why. Leave it in the comments. Email the show builder while you fly it.
For sure.
In the event you feel like your experiences do not define who you are, your response to those experiences is what defines you. Email the show. Leave that in the comments at
Yes,
builderwhileyouFile@gmail.com. Because I know some people who have been through some traumatic things, and those traumatic things in their world define them. But it's interesting because I had a conversation with, like I said, like I started this whole thing with. I had this conversation, and it's kind of fucked up because I didn't have this conversation with them yet.
Right.
But when I met them, I did not know about the traumatic experiences. I just knew them, a product of those traumatic experiences. And the person that I'm referring to, is an amazing person.
Okay.
Like, absolutely amazing. Like, I've hung out with them on more than one occasion. We've been to multiple places. We've vacationed together on a couple of different occasions and so on and so forth. And it's just been nothing but amazing experiences. They've been able to tell me when I was dead ass wrong. They've been able to tell me when, oh my God, you're right. They've been able to coach me through some things. Like, they're just a good quality friend when it comes to that type of stuff. And I don't think that the traumatic experiences that this person went through have the right to define them. Because without knowing about these traumatic experiences, I feel like you've taken those experiences and the sum of those experiences equals this.
Okay.
The person that you are now. And the person that you are, the person that I know, is great.
Right. So
when you say, yo, this is my truth, I'm like, I don't think that's your truth. I think you are your truth.
For sure.
Those experiences is some of the stuff that you went through to bring you to this level.
Right. A result of choices.
True. There were choices that were made.
Choices on perspective.
Yeah, choices on perspective.
Not
how things
necessarily
were
the
interpreted and all of that. And then there's some other stuff because you never know, what people are going through.
Right.
Most people who do different things and all kinds of stuff can be going through whatever. Yeah. They can be going through when the door closes. I'm sorry, y'all. I got indigestion. I've been drinking.
That's why I said. That's why I said earlier that it depends on. I think it's subjective because it depends on if you believe it happened to you or if it happened for you, and when you, and it could be more than that. But this is just to start the conversation. This is not to conclude it for you out there. So when you have a program, which we all do, we all had an opportunity to rewrite the program. Some people call it being born again. Some people call it reprogramming. Some people call it reinventing themselves. Whatever you decide to call it. We all have a curriculum. We all have lessons to learn. And we all have provision that is woven into our decision making. We all got choices to make.
Yeah.
And we're better together is what I believe. So we need to make decisions not solely based on us or our truth, but maybe consider how it impacts those that we claim we care about and claim we love.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, not to because I feel like I need to have this conversation with the person.
I feel you.
Because I haven't. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, the person that you are makes decisions for the greater good of the people around you on a regular basis.
Yeah.
These traumatic events are not your truths. Who you are your truths. I don't know. That's just my opinion, man. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. And so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
By all means, y'all. By all means. Is that whatever has happened, okay? Whatever you went through, whether you're going through it, whether you've been through it, whether you could see it coming, however that shit works, at the end of the day, like Nate said, you have options. You have choices.
Yeah.
It could be the reason that you fail, or it could be the reason that you succeed.
For sure.
You got to make that choice on a more personal level, but I don't know. Like I said, I got some very good friends of mine that have done things like, I got a friend of mine, and I don't want to name any names, and I won't. Those who know will probably know, but I got a friend of mine who got hit in a car accident.
Okay.
On St. Patrick's Day. And when we got word that it happened, we got word that my man's wasn't gonna make it. And we was devastated. We was like, yo, what in the hell? And I'm talking about multiple emergency surgeries that my man pulled out. That ain't his truth. His truth is the man that he is now that he's pulled through, now that he's made it past.
Right.
That's something that happened to him that better defined him.
Right.
That's not who he is. He's not that. That's not him.
You say he didn't get stuck there, huh?
He didn't get stuck there.
Right.
He didn't live in the problem. He moved on to solutions.
Right.
All right, well, now I got to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Because of this, this, and this. And he continued on with his everything.
Right.
I've seen some of the worst shit that you can have happen.
And if you got stuck there, it shows for you.
Damn. Please, by all means, don't be stuck there.
It's not that I don't want to sound insensitive to anyone.
Listen, Nate always. Where's my camera?
But listen,
at? Is that what? Nate sounds insensitive.
Not what I'm about to say though. What I'm about to say is, it's not always for people as easy as it is said. You know what I'm saying? Easier said than done is how they put it, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's easy for us to sit right here on these microphones
sometimes
and tell folks get over it, move on.
Right. But
and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying get over it and move on. I'm saying take the lessons that you learn and apply it.
Right.
That's all.
For sure. And even if you don't know how to apply it, we're better together. So there's
somebody
people,
who does.
Yeah. Like even if
get some help.
And don't necessarily lock into people who've necessarily been through the same thing, because they also may be stuck too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we can listen to Papa or excuse me, his wife calling, trying to figure out what's going on.
He was late. That's what's going on.
Yeah, I'm playing too much. So sometimes you don't get caught in circular thinking and thinking that you had to find someone who went through exactly what you went through, or that other people who have not been through what you've been through are disqualified from saying anything to you. Yeah. Because if that's the case, nobody who's not in the NFL should be able to comment on football.
Period.
Or nobody who's not in the NBA should be able to comment on basketball.
Yep.
Or nobody who's not in the MLB should be able to comment on National Baseball League.
Skip Bayless ain't never played a down.
You know what I'm saying?
And they pay him millions.
Millions for his perspective.
So
sometimes you need to break away from circular thinking and try to get perspectives from as many places as you can, because again, we're better together. So
than we ever will be apart.
Yeah, and if you truly believe that we're better together, this show is for you.
We got you. We here. And not only if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, speaking on truths. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, speaking on anything, anything at all. You got a situation and you're curious to know how me and Nate feel about it? I can tell you, one, we probably won't agree. And then I can tell you, two, that we greet it with open arms. So please, by all means. Don, where we at on time?
39.
Yeah, all right. As I was saying, please email the show at BWYF@gmail.com. You clicked on a video and you watched it. I don't know if we got the link off Facebook, if you got the link off Instagram, or wherever you got the link at. All of that's irrelevant. The fact is, you clicked on it and you decided to come chill with us, and I appreciate you doing that.
Yes, indeed.
I hope you enjoyed your lunch break. I hope you enjoyed your time to yourself in your evenings. I appreciate you taking time out of your personal life to come chill with us.
Yes, indeed.
It means a lot. It does. It means a whole lot. My main man DJ back there. Listen, we got to get you on some John B, man.
Don John.
You need to be listening to this. You don't know what John B did.
He said he listened to a couple tracks, like nonchalant.
A couple tracks? That's all you gave us was a couple tracks?
No, I didn't listen. I looked up on Spotify. I couldn't find them.
What?
Wait a minute.
John B got canceled?
Pause. Hold on.
John B is canceled?
Is John B canceled?
Man, I know
Wait
it's
a
cancel
minute.
culture, but how y'all gonna cancel John B, man?
No, he probably spelled it wrong. Hold
He
on.
probably did.
Oh, shit. I done fucked up the music.
Oh, no. Don't play nobody's song, man.
No, we good.
Oh,
We good. All right.
we calling into the show. You guys.
Yeah, right.
Copyright infringement.
He tripping. Jon
I swear.
space B. That's how you. I guarantee you, he spelled that shit wrong. Guarantee you, because I'm looking at this man whole catalog.
Did you type in John?
They don't know. Are you still down? Calling on
I
you.
remember.
Don't talk. I do. What you say, boo? Boy, listen.
Did you type in Jonathan?
No.
His
Oh,
whole
hold on.
discography is on here. His entire
I was
discography.
like, Jonathan B.
His entire
Hey.
discography is on here.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I looked him up on Spotify. Couldn't find him. I bet. I bet.
I bet you did.
Jesus.
Yeah, sketchy.
Ladies.
I saw everybody.
Ladies.
but him.
Sketchy at best.
He's 19. Okay.
He's not. I will let him all down. He's 19.
So, you know,
1-9.
be nice. All right.
Yeah.
Don't knock his shoes off yet. He ain't ready for all of that. Oh, Jesus.
Young buck.
Are we? I feel like we.
I
Listen.
remember when I was 19. That's a whole nother
No,
show.
you don't.
Don't do me like that. I do.
You remember when you was 19?
I do. Don't do me like that. I was.
Okay, we're gonna end the show on this note. What? Name your two biggest priorities at 19 years old.
I'm not.
You can't even say them.
I won't do it.
You can't even say
I
them.
was going into my terrible twos. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm not
Jesus.
gonna do it. Nope.
Well, since we did it with everything else, why not this one? If you remember your two biggest priorities at 19 years old, email the show at BWYF@gmail.com. We about to have a whole nother show topic
Yes, indeed.
on this shit. Lord Jesus. Build it while you fly it. Like, comment, subscribe,
Turn on
share.
notifications.
Yo, listen. So, my bad. I done bumped the microphone. So, we're recording this show very shortly after we uploaded our first episode.
Yes, indeed.
And I want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in, because a lot of y'all tuned in, way more than I thought was actually going
For
to
real.
tune in. I appreciate it. And then a bunch of y'all that tuned in actually subscribed to the channel.
Right.
So on this show and on every show going forward, when I tell you I appreciate it, y'all, the support on all the rest of that, listen, the reason we doing this
Hey, man. Thank
is
y'all.
for that.
Thank
So
y'all, man.
for y'all to actually come through and do that, man, we definitely appreciate it for real.
Thank y'all.
With all that being said, hey, y'all, we holla.
Peace.